how you are set up to end up poor, and how to avoid this. Daily knowledge quickly programs the human mind. Most individuals don't seem aware that the financial system is structured to keep them impoverished. In this video, I'll discuss the 3 primary difficulties we encounter with mental programming so that you can make the necessary improvements. Some of us have an issue with gurus and professors urging us to concentrate on our thinking and will be successful and affluent. Yes, you need huge ambitions. Yes, you need visualization and manifestation work. And yes, you need to work on your attitude. Still, a mindset without action, plan, or knowledge is pointless. This video discusses how we are trained for scarcity and lack in today's culture. In conclusion, I'll share several strategies that have helped me rewire your mind. Let's start. School teaches us to be employees. Sadly, the current school system programs us to be poor or to remain in a given economic status. Concentrate on your money. Most nations have comparable national education systems. The way we go to school now is based on a few developments in Germany. When humanity began automating jobs and generating items during the Industrial Revolution, the world required workers to run these machines and factories. They wanted individuals who would follow directions, be pleasant, and do what they were told in the factories. At the time, formal education was reserved for the exceedingly affluent, but someone in Prussia, Germany, created industrial schools. The government sponsored free, structured education so that as many drones as possible could mean the machines during the Industrial Revolution. The government provided free education, but only to make yes sir, no sir drones. It wasn't about educating people, but about educating meat machines to operate metal machinery. Wealthy industrialists in North America and Europe swiftly used state-sponsored schools to transform people into manufacturing employees. Once the US accepted this, the globe followed. The system didn't want free thinkers or wealthy individuals. It wanted to train them to perform monotonous occupations. This is why they were never taught to critically analyze, give value to society, or manage their money. Instead, they introduced them to obey commands and fit into a box. And regrettably, this is still our teaching system. If you attend a typical school during your early years, you are schooled or programmed in a particular manner. Critical thinking is not emphasized. There is no education in most developing world schools pushing children into entrepreneurship or creating products or services when they leave school. Almost without fail, the education system does not touch on finances, managing your finances, growing your wealth outside of school, mastering your finances, mortgages, tax. Nothing. Sure, employment has changed since the Industrial Revolution, but the school system still creates employees. Obtain an education, maybe go to college, get a decent career, remain in that position for the rest of your life, retire, then die. Most of us were designed this way, so it's no surprise so many people can't escape. Second, belief programming. Second, our beliefs have conditioned us to be impoverished. Some of us were surrounded by people who argued over money. Others heard family members speak poorly about those with money. Some grew up in struggling communities, working families, or poor neighborhoods. Most individuals who grow up in this atmosphere negatively view cash and those with money. Dr. Bruce Lipton discusses how children's money upbringings impact their futures. If you were raised to think that money is bad, money makes people evil, money creates difficulties, and cash is hard to get by, you may still retain that conditioning as an adult. Dr. Lipton cites Aristotle. Give me a kid till he's 7 and I'll show you a man. Show me how this kid was reared until age 7, the formative years of their life, and the programming they encountered, and it will likely define how they behave or live out the rest of their lives. Most individuals have a terrible perception regarding finances, money, and success, and many don't know why. Often, it's their upbringing. If you were born into a poor town and everyone around you was lacking, this is the only reality you know and think you can have for yourself. People from impoverished areas tend to spend their lives in poor neighborhoods, not simply because they have fewer possibilities, but because they can't envisage another life. Being poor and living in need may have been so ingrained in your early mind that it's now part of your subconscious belief system, which likely governs your financial life. First, know that it's not your responsibility, and just because a scenario was a particular way doesn't imply it has to continue. I'll speak more about that later in the video. Most individuals are intentionally impoverished. This may be the most rigid section of the film to hear, but the bulk of the population is supposed to be poor. This rigged system centers around unfettered capitalism. Capitalism gives individuals the opportunity and potential to make something of themselves rather than being trapped in their birth circumstances. Capitalism lets us have what we desire. Unchecked capitalism may cause a lot of drama, sorrow, and poverty. Let's look at corporations that can market to you indiscriminately with minimal restriction. Do seeking to drain your pocketbook as much as possible. Some firms employ psychology, emotional triggers, and genetic drives to overcome logical thinking and sell more. Capitalism permits banks to provide the poor with harsher conditions, lower interest rates, and more significant fees, keeping them there. Capitalism permits corporations to pay less than a livable wage. Thus, individuals need many occupations to survive. This cycle trains that group to remain put. Companies like Amazon have huge marketing and advertising expenditures that are hard to compete with every year. They send millions of dollars attempting to get you to click buy on a product. Mind specialists and advertising organizations have infinite money to find out what makes you tick and how to make you want more. People work on the algorithm so you want more and keep purchasing. In such circumstances, your mind is practically hijacked. And every year, their procedures improve because they have to accomplish business and shareholder objectives. What you spend affects your life and financial mastery. They don't care whether you save or spend. We're taught from an early age to spend, spend, spend. Don't save money. Live in the now and enjoy. Everyone is locked in a loop that keeps them impoverished and paycheck to paycheck. This affects everyone. We don't know many who can quickly leave this way. We all want to look our best, but does it mean purchasing too much stuff and living under a mound of things that don't make us happy? It's simple for me to advise. Don't purchase the newest and best. Yet, multi-billion-dollar firms know you better than you know yourself. You're fighting a dragon with a hot dog instead of a shield and sword. It's hard to say no to items you're told you need, but realizing that makes it more accessible. Then what? We realize a lot of what we shared is heavy, and it may seem complicated to break out of this trap, but it's making you aware of the factors working against you. Things won't change until the system are substantially overhauled. Then what? I'm not a therapist or guru. No, we all have distinct constraints, problems, and programming. This is simply another take to show you that you can have this at any age. You must intentionally pick what you put in your head and catch uncomfortable ideas blocking you from developing. These things were implanted into you by someone else or were there to protect you. It would be best if you controlled them. We didn't merely alter our mentality and voila, achieve achievement. We took concrete, significant action. We acted. You can't just alter your perspective and everything will change. You need skills too. Mindset can undermine all you strive for and self-sabotage you. It's a thing, but it won't go anywhere without the skills, activity, and determination to execute your strategy. Be aware of what you're feeding your brain. Are you spending a lot of time with folks who claim money is terrible and you should avoid rich people? Spend less time with them or avoid such talks. Do you watch many movies and nasty wealthy people? Try turning it off. Maybe you've experienced financial traumas, such as someone stealing from you. your parents being ruined by money, or family feuding over cash. You must handle this since it programs your subconscious. Change the things you think about from scarcity to plenty for a year. Instructors, audiobooks, and podcasts may advance you from absence to opportunity. Turn off the TV that's depleting you and squandering your time. You don't need to spend a lot of money on instructors, audiobooks, digital programs, etc. There are many free internet options if money is scarce. You have several options. Even if you lose everything, you'll always have your knowledge. Start with free items. Don't pay for anything. Suppose you're tempted to follow the Jonases and purchase the newest and best. Don't. Are you sure? Are you making progress? You want financial freedom if you're viewing this video. Take action to achieve success and wealth. Education is good, but many people panic when it's time to act, so they don't. You may have information, but wisdom comes from using it, so do it too. This film aims to remind you that powerful forces are keeping you impoverished. You're trained to remain there, not save money, and not grow into today's culture. One of the most acceptable and most rebellious ways to break through society's expectations is to be successful. Some individuals have a better starting block than others, but that doesn't imply it won't work for you. Be aware that things are attempting to keep you where you are. I hope you liked and learned something from today's video. If you want to keep improving and being inspired, subscribe and press the bell button to be alerted whenever we upload a video. This has been Market Profits Institute.